Oh, hello and welcome to a new stream in which I am surviving on an island in Indev. Now, well, once again I've been doing some stuff in between the streams. Well, I say some stuff, but I only did some building in the last episode where I built the cactus farm and worked on the wheat farm. Aside from that, I haven't really done anything else since I haven't really played Indev at all aside from working on the video in these past 2 weeks. And I'm also not going to be showing the things that I've built, the cactus farm and the wheat farm. So if you want to see those, you'll have to watch the last episode. Anyway, in the stream, I would like to work on a furnace room, which just reminds me that I forgot to actually bring the things that I went up the tower for, which are some sponges, because I need to get rid of some water, because the place that I plan to use as a furnace room is currently used as a temporary wheat farm. So I need to get rid of the water that's there because I need sponges for that, is because the room is connected to the ocean. Anyway, I currently don't have a design that I want to use for the furnace room, so I guess I'm gonna have to come up with it as I go. Anyway, as you can see, got some stuff here, so I'm gonna take away these things since I don't need them here anymore. I'm gonna stalling so that hopefully the wheat grows a bit more. Oh, it's probably fine. I think I'll get enough wheat for the foreseeable future. And by foreseeable future, I mean until animals stop trampling. Well, not trampling. Until animals stop spawning on the ground. Which I don't know when it actually happens. If you didn't know, animals actually don't have like a check in this version, which checks for grass, so they can spawn on any block as long as it has enough light. Anyway, that's the wheat taken care of, so I'm gonna quickly go and store it so it doesn't clutter up my inventory. And I'm also going to put the poles in the same chest since I don't need them anymore, since I won't be crafting anything for the foreseeable future. As you can see, I got quite a lot of wheat. Let's see, 9. Oh, almost 36 stacks, which is quite a lot. And I got more than 24 stacks of feeds, which is the amount, more than the amount that I need to fill up this wheat farm. Also, I just realized that I've said that I wouldn't really show the wheat farm, but as you can see, I'm currently showing it because I had to go here. Anyway, if you want to see the process of building it, then just watch the last episode, because I did like a live stream where I did some building. Anyway, now it is time to start working over here. And while I work here, yes, there are few things I have to mention about the future of this series, which is that my current plans are to have one more stream after this one, after which I'll make the final episode, which should be on the 20th of July. So on the 20th of July this series will end, and I will return to the classic world and just continue working on it, so I can finally finish it. Maybe I'll be able to finish it this year, who knows. But I should have it definitely finished next year. And once I do that, I'm gonna move on to, well, Infdev after I like port these worlds into Infdev. Which reminds me that I like need to decide how I want to position these worlds, you know, the plastic world, Indev world, how I want to like position them in the Infdev world once I import them. I kind of have a rough idea as to what I would like to do, however, nothing concrete. Anyway, seems like the farmland is slow to break, so I'm gonna wait for it to turn into dirt, hopefully. Anyway, hello Sabine, how are you doing? I'm currently kind of trying to work on a furnace room, so I'm gonna need to like dig it out. And the first thing that I did for that is that I'm kind of getting rid of the temporary wheat farm that I had here. Anyway, I also talked about the future of this world, which is that after this stream I plan to do one more stream, then and then there will be like a final episode which should be on the 20th of July, after which this series will be over and I will return to Classic, you know, the Classic world. And once I'm done with the Classic world, then I'm gonna go to Indev, which might be like next year. I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish the Classic world this year, based on how the things are going. But I'm kind of looking forward to playing on the Classic world again, since I've been playing on the Indev world for quite a while. I think it's almost been half a year now. It'll be like half a year at the start of July, so it'll be nice to move on. I've kind of got some inspiration as to what I'd like to do when I return to Classic, since I've kind of been flying around the world in Classic Cube and just viewing what I have and what space do I have remaining. And while doing it, I've also noticed that there are some things that I need to fix, so that's probably what I'm gonna focus on in the next stream here, fixing things and just doing things that I need to do. Yeah, it's understandable that you need to take a break. After all, you've been working with quite a lot. I'm also interested to see like what you do when you return. I'm also looking forward to how I will do when I get to like release, or I wonder how will I do in this Battle World once I get to future versions, you know, alpha, beta, then release, early release, the sort of mid-release and later release modern versions. If I have the motivation to actually get that far, it's gonna be interesting to see how this world evolves. And it's also going to be like interesting to revisit some older places in more modern versions. For example, like see the Classic City, how it looks in beta, then a release and such versions, and of course also the Indev world as well. Anyway, I'm gonna try to trample this farmland a bit so that it turns into dirt to make it so I can break it a bit faster. It would be nice if some animals spawn just about now so they could trample the farmer as well. You know, there's one moment where I want the animals to trample something, they aren't here. Anyway, but I think it's probably not the time efficient to try to actually trample. It's probably more efficient to just try to dig it up. Anyway, earlier I said that I haven't really been playing on this world aside from making the last episode, and the reason why I haven't really been playing is because, for example, in this past week I've been focusing on making like a short video which is almost finished. There is only like one scene remaining for me to do. I'm kind of using like replay mode to make the video, which is something that I haven't really used before, so it's quite new, so it took me a while. But anyway, as I've said, I still have one more scene remaining that I need to finish, which I already have prepared in replay mode, and I just need to like take care of all exporting it to make it an actual video, if that makes sense. I also have like the thumbnail prepared for it already, and I think and once I'm done with the last step that I need to finish, I'm gonna need to like watch it again to see if there's anything missing. I believe the first scene is missing some audio, and I'm also gonna need to like pick some music, I think, or just, you know, decide how I want to handle the music in that video, because it's kind of different from the other ones, as there are some, since I have like a mod which adds some ambience, and I'm not sure how well it will mesh with the with music that I would add. And I also already have like some plans for another video that I will do, that I will make the next week after the current video that I'm working on is finished. And after that I'm thinking, I came up with like a snow farm design for Infdev, so I'm gonna try to make it the week after that. I believe it should still work in like the after the rebrand happens. So I'm gonna try to design something. I think it should work, and after that I'm gonna make like the last episode for this Indev series, and then I plan to do a case world playthrough in Infdev+, which will be like at the end of July, so after the rebrand. Anyway, let's see. So over here I've already reached the stone slabs, so I'm gonna have to take out some more on the other side. And I think I'm gonna place some rest benches in case. Let's see. I'm gonna place a bunch of them just in case, so that I don't flood anything accidentally. it would be quite annoying if I had to get rid of some more so that flooded this space. Well, the caverns, you know, it would be annoying to have to clear those out. And I believe we should be almost safe. But it should be enough sponges so that I don't flood anything. Let's see where I got confused. And I think this one pickaxe will be enough. I'll probably have to craft a bunch more. And of course, also probably make this room smaller than the ones that are above me. And the ones for the storage system. Oh yeah, as I said, but pickaxe wasn't enough, so I think I'm gonna craft 2 more. And one more thing that I would like to mention about this world again is that once I'm done with this series, you'll also like see it again, and not like just in Infdev, but also before I get going Infdev, because I also plan to do some streams in this world in like Indev Plus, so that's gonna be kind of interesting since I'll already have like the endgame gear kind of, so I guess I'm gonna kind of visit some other worlds, maybe get some blood moons, and just do some other things with the portals and such things. I haven't yet. I won't have I don't think I'll have goal for these streams. I'll just play like 1 or 2 streams, maybe 3, and just play around. It's only after I'm done with like this Indev world. Also after I'm done with my Order of the Stone streams and also my Indev Plus streams where I'm fixing my base currently. Aside from like I've mentioned Order of the Stone, which I plan to like stream in the future, and I also plan to stream the other Legacy Plus mods like Alpha Recrafted and Beta Recrafted, which I've already mentioned, but I feel like it's worth repeating since in Alpha Recrafted I plan to like find a monolith, so I'm gonna try doing like a nomadic playthrough, for which I'm probably gonna use the Saddle Picklock, since in Alpha Recrafted you can have the control the saddle pick with the apple on a stick. So that's gonna be interesting, and I also plan to play Beta Recrafted, but I haven't really yet decided on a goal that I want to do in there. But that's still far in the future, so I can, so I'll probably be able to decide by then, by the time it's actually an issue. Also, I just remembered. Oh, wait, I've been kind of too far. And also I remember there was like a lava behind this place. Somewhere over there is the lava lake that I got outside, so I need to be careful not to flood this place with lava. And we have everything on time. We are 20 minutes in. Anyway, I'm gonna save once again once we are to half hour. Also, let's see how high do I want this room to be. This room is 4 blocks high. So this is good height because currently we got 5 blocks, so that's 4 blocks plus the floor, which I haven't yet decided what design do I want to use, which is the same for the room. I haven't yet decided what sort of design do I want to use for that. Also, one more thing that I've just thought of when it comes to alpha recrafted is that it would be kind of funny if I actually happen to get a seed which has monolith right next to it, well, right next to the spawn, and that would mean that the series would be over right at the start. But I don't think that would ever happen. Well, I don't think I would be lucky enough for it to happen, but still it's kind of funny to think about it, you know. The whole goal of the series would be to find monolith, but I would just find it right at the start. Of course, I don't think that will happen, as I've said, but still would be funny. Also, let me see how long is the floor. So let's see. So it's 11 blocks from the staircase. And how am I doing over here? So wait, yeah, stop. I can't count. So let's see, I'm counting from this block, which is right next to the staircase. Yeah, it was 11. And now let's see. So the 11th block is right here, which is so it's like 4 blocks. I think I'm gonna mine the whole thing out. I don't think it's too much to do since I've been kind of digging out this place throughout the series, kind of. which, speaking of this series, as you might know, the whole goal of this world is to kind of make a base for Indev, and I think I've kind of managed to succeed. I feel like I've made a nice world that I kind of can be proud of. I like how I've built all of the custom trees that I got around my world. You know, the flowers, the paths, I think those are all nice. Those are all, I like all of those. And there are the builds. I feel like some of them could be better. I could have planned things a little better, but overall I'd say it turned out quite well. So in the end, I'd say that this world is something that I'll be able to be proud of and kind of it's basically something that I'll be able to think of with a smile. Not sure how should I describe it, you know, I think it's a nice world that I got, and it's gonna be nice to play on it once I get to Infdev. And it's also going to be interesting to see how I expand upon how this world expands once I get to Infdev and then Alpha, because my current plan is to kind of expand the classic city that I've got, that I've started working on in classic, you know, to kind of expand it outside of the island and to the other bad masses, which is going to be interesting because throughout the different versions I'll have like different materials to work with, different blocks to work with. So it's going to be interesting to see how the buildings evolve as the time goes on. And it's also going to be interesting to see how like the builds look like in the virtual versions, although it's something that I've kind of already mentioned earlier in the stream. And it's also going to be interesting how some of the builds will kind of become outdated. Because, for example, like once I get to the later versions, I'll be able to build a spawner farm, I think, maybe. Not sure what is I might be able to like make a spawner farm in the versions where spawners get added. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that the spawner farm that you can build like in alpha or Infdev will definitely be very different from a spawner farm that you can make in beta or in like release, especially after the introduction of helpers and later crafters, because those allow you to automate things a lot, plus thanks to distance. I shouldn't be played on like that, and I should also switch to normal. And what I was trying to say is that, for example, the introduction of distance. Why is the cobblestone here? Not sure, but it's probably better not to break it. But anyway, the introduction of distance will allow you to later like switch between if you want to farm experience points or if you want to farm items, which also reminds me that like the introduction of experience points will also change the farming, the spawn of farming, since you also want to like farm the points, not just the items. So that's something that you also need to consider. So it's gonna be interesting to see how things become outdated as time goes on, and also it's gonna be interesting how things will evolve, how my pieces will evolve, since I probably won't be staying in like a single place for a long time, since for example I've said that I want to use this world in Infdev, but I don't plan to stay here forever. I would like to eventually move on, since I don't think this place has like enough space for all the things that I might need in the future, and I just don't know. Of course, I could like expand underground and do stuff underground, but I don't think it is that interesting. So instead, I plan to move out once I get to beta. I don't know the exact version when will I move out, or well, where will I move out to, but it probably won't be too far away from where I am currently. That way I can still continue working on the city. And also, given the fact that this is a world, I also need to like work on a Nether hub in the future. That's gonna be something very important, since I'll need fast travel a lot. So I'll definitely need to do stuff on the Nether roof, and that's also very useful for fast travel. I'll also be like building a gold farm there and other things. Anyway, seems like we are almost done with when it comes to taking out this room. There is just one more space that we don't need to dig out, which is right over there. I need to get it out of the walls. I'm gonna need to place down some more sponges. So I think I'm gonna just place down these sponges, and then save since we are past the half-hour mark. There we go, this should be good enough. This way, if I accidentally plot something, I won't lose too much progress. Also, speaking of the saves, obviously words are difficult. Anyway, I'll just like to mention that once this world is done, I'm going to, of course, make it public so you can, well, check it out yourself, and if you want to use it, you can also like use it for your projects, as long as you, of course, provide some, as long as you credit me, of course, like police you so I can check if you credit me, but it would be nice if you did. If you decide to use this word for something, it's kind of common courtesy. So I think another thing that I'm gonna do before I continue digging this place out is I'm gonna fill up these holes in the floor because they are kind of annoying. As I keep falling down them. Although I've just said that I'll make the world public for people so that people can use it in their projects, but I don't think anyone actually will. The only one that I can think of that might use it is Rikeo, since he's got this series called History in Chunks, and I saw him showcase other people's world in other people's pre-classic worlds. So maybe once he gets to Indev, he'll showcase some Indev world, so when that happens he could showcase my world. But aside from that, I don't think anyone would be that interested in showcasing it or just using it in their projects. Which I don't think there will be that many people anyway that will download this world, but that's fine. I don't think it's so that important for people to download it. It's just enough if people know this exists. I'm really not sure where I was exactly going with that. Just kind of something that I thought of. Which also makes me think, how am I going to share this world once I get to Infdev and later on, because this world will become kind of large. I'll probably use Google Drive or something, but problem is that using Google Drive, the display problem will be that this world will likely become quite big, so I won't be able to share it that often probably, so maybe I'll do it in phases, so after so I'll share it after Infdev, then after alpha, then after beta, and then throughout release, the release phase, whenever I feel like there's an important just whenever I feel like it's the right time. But I did something that I'll just worry about later, because currently I don't even know if I'll be able to reach those versions. If I'll have the motivation to work on this project for that long, we'll see. But hopefully I will, after all, if I ever get kind of tired of this project, then I can kind of take breaks so that I don't get burned out completely. Anyway, with this, I believe dug out everything. So now I think I'm gonna kind of move the sponges, because over here will be some walls, so I'm gonna make it so that the sponges are behind these walls. So let's see. One will be over here. One over here. One over here. For a second I get scared that when the water started flowing in. Seems like I almost spotted something important. Good thing that I've reacted fast enough. Anyway, I'm just going to lock it here real quick. Anyway, let's see, where is the next sponge supposed to be placed? Anyway, I shouldn't forget to pick up these torches later. Also, I feel like at this rate I might not be able to finish this thing in this stream. But it's probably fine. Anyway, now I just need one more sponge. That should be enough. So I'm gonna save and then get out the sponges that are on the inside. So let me quick check something. Alright, it's all good now. I can just get rid of the sponges. Hopefully I don't regret this. But I do want to do this because they are kind of in the way when it comes to building, which just made me think that I could just get rid of this water entirely. I didn't need it right now, and it just disappear on its own if I just block off the entrance. How strange. Normally the water disappears when I block off the entrance to the ocean. But it seems that right now it doesn't. Yeah, and the liquids can be quite weird. So I think I'm gonna do this. Anyway, now I'm gonna break these sponges. Hopefully I don't regret this later. I don't think I'll lose too much progress if something were to get flooded. And while I break them, I need to also think about the design that I want to use. Now let's see, have I taken all these sponges? No, I have. And this one is so I can take. Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 10. And it's 36 in total, so I haven't lost any sponge yet. And I want that better. Anyway, I'm gonna now put away some of the items and then start working on the design. I think one of the things I'm gonna need to grab are some stone slabs, which I happen to have quite a lot of since the last project. I want to put this away. I want to also put away the dirt, this thing, and I think I'll keep the cobblestone for now. Also, one of the things I want to do before I'm done with this world is kind of move this dirt somewhere else. I think I'll move it into the warehouse. I think I would like to use it for like bulk storage. This way I kind of have some dirt that is near to me, and also bulk storage of dirt over there that I can bring here if I need to. Anyway, where was I? Alright. I wanted to do some building. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is add some stone slabs around here. And I think I'll also add some stone slabs as a trim around the room, kind of away then over there, which has made me realize that I will need to take out a bit more so that I can decorate this wall. It's alright. Also, I'm going to decide what I want to do with this wall. I'm kind of considering digging out some of the blocks around here and have like a window into the water. I think that would be interesting. That way I kind of bring some glow into the build, because otherwise well, there isn't really a dark blue building block currently, or at least not with the same color as water. That's like the ultramarine fluff water, but it's quite different. You know, because water has quite different shade from ultramarine, or at least the ultramarine that we have. I can't remember it. Now that I think about it, I can't exactly remember how does the ultramarine shade look like. Yeah, I know it's blue, but no, I can remember the exact shade of it. And for the floor, I think I'll continue the tradition of using dark grey cloth, since I got quite a lot of it, which also makes me think like, makes me think about wherever I'm not, I want to like dupe it once I get to, before I get to Infdev, or if I just keep the ones, or if I'll only use the ones that I've acquired naturally from the sheep. But it's something that I'm gonna have to decide later on. Not that much later on, since I only got less than a month before I'm done with this world, at least if things go according to the plan. Anyway, I'm gonna keep the outline same as it is above me, I think. Like so. And I'm also gonna add some lines like this, kind of going from the center over there and from the center going over there, which just made me think that maybe I could do the same over here. I've never noticed that these lines are actually missing. Anyway, time to craft some more slabs. I think this should be good enough. Maybe a bit too much. I don't expect to use up this many slabs in this build. Also, the fact that I'm building this means that I'll also be moving the furnaces that I currently have on the floor above me, since I won't need them anymore there. Anyway, now it is time to lay down the wall. Hopefully I should have enough with me right now so I can do the whole floor. That probably should have enough, I think. And once I'm done with that, I'm gonna take out the walls so I can do something interesting with them. I'm not sure what yet. I think one of the things I'm gonna add here is like some storage so I can store some fuel for the furnaces. I think I'm gonna probably do 4 chests on each side. I think that will be enough. I don't think I'll need more than that. At least, in these early versions. Because as I've said, I'm planning to move out in beta, which has made me realize that I can't remember like what sort of fuel sources are there in alpha and beta and Infdev, I know that there's, I think, a lava bucket, there's planks and locks, and I think sticks. I can't remember if there is anything else. Like, you know, for example, can I use saplings as fuel in beta? I can't remember. Or like, can I use wooden tools as fuel? Of course, I won't be storing wooden tools in the chest over here, but you know, it's something that I wonder about. Or that I just thought of right now. And it seems like the wall that I had wasn't enough. Seems like it was only enough for a half. So I guess I'm gonna need 4 more stacks to do the 4. Anyway, I was kind of expecting to finish it in this stream, or I was expecting that I would finish it before the end of the stream, and that I wouldn't have like anything to do for a while, you know, that I expected that I would be able to finish it in less than an hour, and that I would have like that I wouldn't have like anything to do for the second half of the stream, but I guess it turned out to it turns out that that isn't the case, and that I'm not even able, I can't speak, and I might not even be able to finish this thing in this stream. Anyway, words are hard. That's probably the main takeaway from this stream. Anyway, we are almost an hour in, so I'm gonna save soon. Probably after I'm done placing down the wall blocks, or the cloth blocks as they are called. I think they're called that in the files, since yeah, we can't really see their name until like beta maybe. I can't really remember when you can see the tooltips of items. Also, let's see how are we doing. It's still day, I think, but I think it's getting dark. Where is the sun rising? No, the sun is rising. So yeah, it's day is starting. And I just hurt myself. And there we go. So now I'm gonna save real quick. That way I don't lose too much progress if I die. And then I'm gonna start digging away the walls so that I can do something interesting with them. Also, one more interesting thing that I thought of is about this world is like, well, now I'm going to like be importing it. And what I mean by that is like the sort of height of the world, because when you think about it, the Indev worlds and the classic worlds are 64 blocks high. However, the Infdev worlds are 128 blocks high, which means that when you import them, you got like a choice as to how high do you want to place down the world. Also, there is some grass. There is some lava. So yeah, I need to be careful about it. Anyway, as I said, you got like a choice when it comes to how high do you want to place the world. The most prominent choices are to place the worlds either at the bottom, so that the bedrock is where the bedrock of the Infdev world is, or if you are playing any version that doesn't have bedrock, then bedrock is where the bedrock would be. And the second sort of prominent choice, I don't think prominent is the right word, but anyway, the second obvious choice is to place it so that the sea level of the Indev world is the same as the sea level of the Infdev world, which is what I plan to do. I think that will be the better choice because I don't want the Indev and classic worlds to be sorry about that. I don't want the Indev and classic worlds to be kind of below the sea level, since I feel like that would look kind of weird. At least for me, since I don't really care that much about the poly world aspect of this world. Of course, to some people it might look cool, but I don't think it would really fit this world all that well, so I just plan to place the Indev and classic worlds so that the sea level of those worlds would be the same as the sea level of the Infdev worlds. This of course means that I'll have some void below the worlds. And by void I mean like after I get to the caves and cliffs update, you know, the part 2 1.18, or at least I'll have. Anyway, let me repeat. Once I get to 1.18, there will be actually void before I get to 1.18. But after I get to 1.18, I'll have some void below some of the Infdev chunks, because some of those chunks that I'll have won't have bedrock, so there will be void below them, which makes me wonder if I should like place the bedrock in manually, but that will probably be too much work and I don't think it's that necessary, and I think it will be more interesting since I'll have like a large space, you know, large void below the world, which I'll be able to use to build something. I don't know what would I build, but you know, it's nice to have the option. Anyway, now that I'm done with this, it is time to start designing some stuff. And what I think I'm gonna do first is grab some blocks. This should be good enough. This should be enough for now. And I'm gonna also grab some chests. I think I'm gonna start by making some storage. I just forgot that you can't really shift click to craft in these versions. I tried to, but obviously wasn't successful. Anyway, I think the chests will be placed over here. So we'll have 2 chests over here. Right, good. For a second I was worried that I wouldn't be able to open the top chest, and I just realized that I've placed these in the wrong spot. I wanted to place them over here. There we go. And for a second I was worried that I've placed them at the wrong spot again. In the wrong spot again. But I think that I haven't. Also, as you can see, the staircase isn't really centered, but I think that's fine. Wait, those are the chests on the one side. In the middle there will be like an opening, so I can use it to go to some other places, like over here, since this is an entrance to some caves that I might use later on. And on the other side I'll do the same thing. For a second I was worried that I did things wrong, but I didn't. And of course I would place the locks in the wrong place again. And of course the axe would break as I break the locks. Also the lava reminds me that before I'm done with this world, I'm gonna need to block some lava that is at the bottom of the world, so that the wall that I got at the bottom of the world, you know, that I use to decorate. Anyway, sorry that I kind of got distracted by the fact that I made another mistake. What I would was trying to say is that, you know, I got some wool that I've used to decorate the wheat farm. In fact, there's a lot of wool that I've used to decorate the wheat farm, so I'm gonna need to like block it off so that it doesn't catch on fire from the lava there, since there's quite a lot of lava underground. And I've miscalculated. Anyway, let me just quickly craft another chest. And I'm also gonna place some locks so that it looks like a proper entrance to. So that it looks like a proper entrance. There we go. And there we go. I'm gonna grab the planks from the chests over here so I don't have to craft them. And the reason why I did it is because I want to place some planks behind the chests. There we go. And I'm over here. I'm also kind of placing them behind the chest, although I don't need to. That's for the future updates, but you know, beta 1.820 model of it just changes and the test is no longer a roadblock. Anyway, I've also decided to place in some blocks so that it kind of fits in with this. Anyway, next up, I think it's time to place in some furnaces, and what I think I'm gonna do first is place some blocks in the corners. That way, kind of get like a 3D thing going on. And I think with the furnaces, I'm gonna do something similar as I did with the chests. So let's see. We got 3 blocks in the middle. Right, I didn't want to place it there. Anyway, let me just quickly patch this up. And I think do this. And this, and over here will be furnaces. So we'll have a 4x4 square of furnaces. And we'll have the same thing on the other side. And over here, I think we'll have a 2x4 rectangle of furnaces. And here as well. And over here there won't be any furnaces, this will be decorative. I think I'll place a painting here. Now as for the other wall, I think I'm gonna place some blocks over here. And over here as well. And I think I'm gonna kind of pick out some of the blocks that are here so that I can place a window over here. But anyway, before I do that, I'm gonna have to decide what I want to do here. And I think I'm gonna have some more furnaces here. So let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I place this over here, I get 6, which is kind of too much. Or is it too much? If I were to do 2 blocks on each side, and I would have 4. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do 2 blocks on each side. So I got a nice 4x4 square. Anyway, we are around 16 minutes in, so I think I'm gonna be able to finish this furnace room in this stream. You know, for a while I was worried that I wouldn't be able to really finish with it, but I think in the end I should have enough time to do everything that I want to, which isn't all that much. I think one of the things I'm gonna do in this stream is like move some of the fuel here, and by fuel I mean coal, because I want to have the wood in other places. Let's see. Alright, I need to grab some furnaces. Before I do that, I just realized that there's like a tunnel leading over here. So I'm just gonna quickly make it go around here so that I can still reach it even after it is blocked by the furnaces. That way I don't forget that it exists, because you know, once I place in the furnaces, this tunnel will become inaccessible, but if I take this out, then it will still be accessible. Anyway, now it's time to grab some furnaces. So how many do I need? 4, I mean that's 16 for it too. Then we got a stack plus 16. So stack plus 16, that's 8 stacks plus 2, that's 10 stacks of cobblestone. That's quite a lot. But thankfully I got quite a lot of cobblestone from all of the digging that I've done throughout this series. Anyway, let me just take care of something before it. Good, now I can get the cobblestone. Now let's see, I got 3 stacks currently, so I need 7 more stacks. Although I've just realized that I don't really need all that many furnaces actually. Let's see, we got 9 furnaces over here. Which means 72 less cobblestone, so let's see. And plus 8. There we go. Now I should have the exact amount of cobblestone that I need. And while I'm here, I'm also going to take the items from the furnaces, because I've just remembered that there's the bug which makes furnaces not drop the items when they are broken. I think it's still... I think it's something that's also in Indev. I know it's in Infdev, but I wasn't sure if it was something that was in... I don't know when it was introduced, but it was probably in Indev as well, not just in Infdev. And maybe Alpha, not sure when it was fixed. Also, I need to be careful not to break this stack. It would be kind of annoying if I did. And now I'm moving to the annoying task of digging furnaces. If only this was an Indev and I could just break them at the normal speed. And now it is time to do some crafting, so for that I'm gonna need to do a lot of clicking because there's no shift clicking to craft a large amount of things. Thankfully I can click quite fast so it didn't take too long. And now I need to be careful not to misplace any blocks, because it would take a long time to break them. And it's another thing that's annoying about Indev. Anyway, how do I get up now? I guess I'll mine some blocks to go up. Let's see whoever's out there. Anyway, placing furnaces is kind of annoying as you saw, so I need to place these blocks this way and then place the other ones. And I'm also gonna grab some more cobblestone so I can place it behind where the furnaces will be, so that I can place them properly. And of course I forgot to place some blocks so that these furnaces would place properly. Oh, of course I would forget. And this also means that I need to kind of move this tunnel over here. Right, this should be good enough. And there we go. Oh, not quite. For some reason I forgot to place in the last furnaces. Anyway, but I'm done, so I'm gonna save just in case. And then I'm gonna work on the decorative walls, for which I get an idea. I think I'm gonna use... I was thinking of use... Oh, I'm kind of deciding as to if I want to use white cloth or grey cloth. I think I'm gonna use some white cloth, so let me just grab some from the chests that are inside the tower. Anyway, speaking of the blocks, my plan is to kind of cube some more before I'm done with Infdev, or before I'm done with Infdev, I think. Well, I'm not sure if I want to cube these, since this would give me access to some, well, kind of illegal stuff, which I don't know if I want to. But I do know that I want to cube some other stuff like flowers, because I know that those will be hard to get for a while, at least until bone meal is able to grow stuff on grass. And I'm also going to cube some other stuff that isn't like that important, like I don't plan to use some iron, because for it I can just dig around in the world. But I plan to use some like maybe sand, gravel, mushrooms, that I can use them for decoration, and maybe some other stuff, so that's something that I'm gonna take care of before I move on from this world. Anyway, what did I want to grab? Oh right, I want to make a painting, which is more expensive in this version, or in this phase. I wonder when does the recipe change. And I kind of want to have it like this, indented. And now that I think about it, I don't think I can... Yeah, I can't really replace these blocks. I want to replace them with blocks, but I can't really. Or can I? I wonder how would it look if I were to place blocks there, and yeah, I don't think it would look that good. Anyway, now it's time to place in the blocks and the painting. I want a 2-high painting that has the Graham painting. I think that's what it's called. No, I think I want the one with the guy above the fog. And for that, I think I'm gonna need to place a block there. And I almost said it. Anyway, it's kind of interesting that the placement method of painting hasn't really changed in Indev. So I think it would be nice if there was like a way for people to like select the painting that they want, is like a GUI or something. At least in like modern and survival, I know that you can like select the painting that you want in like the more modern versions if you are in the if you are in creative, because you can like all the different paintings in the creative as individual items. But it would be nice if you could also like choose the painting in survival. That way you wouldn't have to like rely on luck to get the painting that you want. Because oftentimes, you already know which painting you want, so having to kind of rely on randomness to get it is quite annoying. Also, there is something that I just remember now that I'm building with the wall, which is that I think when I was younger, I had like a friend who believed that torches could cause wood wall blocks and just flammable blocks to catch on fire, which I think is kind of funny that some that there would like be something like that. Of course, I knew at the time that something like that wasn't the case, but still, it's kind of funny that he was worried about that. But I guess that's something that happens when you are younger. Sometimes you just believe stupid stuff like that. Gonna remove the torches. Gonna take care of the lighting, and I'm gonna take care of this phone. Let's see, we are over in 45 minutes almost in, which means about 25 minutes remaining. I think we should be able to finish this thing in that time. But, well, it should be plenty of time to do everything that I want to do. And let's see. Anyway, this light source over here. Let's see. Anyway, I think these two should be enough on that side. So I'm gonna now do the same thing on the other side. One over here. And I need more torches. Hopefully nothing spawns before I go down there again. Especially another creeper. Anyway, counting light levels is kind of annoying, but I have to do it. Now let's see, how are we doing here? Let's see. I think like that should be light level 14, so around it should be 13. At least I hope. I'm not sure if the light levels are like staying as in the later versions, but I do hope they are. So this should be 8, which should be enough. But I think I'm gonna place some torches in. Okay, you know what, I'm gonna place them here. And I'm gonna place them here just in case. Now let's see. So over here as well. Now we're gonna be symmetrical. Place them here. Over here as well. Anyway, sorry for the clock, I'm just kind of trying to focus on counting the light levels. By the way, everything is lit up properly. Or at least it hopefully is. I still need more torches. Let's see. This block really doesn't need to have a light source above it, but I'm just gonna put it there just in case. Alright, this should be enough when it comes to the light sources. So next up I'm gonna place some more sponges, although now that I think about it, I might not need to. What I'm gonna do is gonna remove the water over here and wait for it to evaporate. And while that happens, I'm gonna take care of some things. Namely, I'm going to tube some glass and also store away these stone blocks because I don't really need them. Not sure I'm still carrying them. I should have stored them way earlier. And once I do all of that, I'm gonna move onto the final wall, and with that the furnace room will be finished. Oh, I knew that I had some bread in, but you know, I want to have some more. Also, I feel like I currently don't have any glass, so I'm gonna also have to smelt some, and it kind of feels weird when I don't have the furnaces there anymore. Having some sand. I got some planks, so I just need to go down there and smelt some glass so I can cube it. Which just reminds me that I should have taken a chest while I was there so I can perform the cube. And I didn't have a chest, so I'm gonna craft one. Which also just made me realize that I should have like a crafting table in the furnace room. And I think that's going to be placed over there. And I'm also going to fold down. But the main thing that I want to do is place some blocks over here. Although I don't think the crafting table looks good like this, so I'm gonna put it into the floor. There we go, better. Anyway, time to pick the glass and start cubing it. This should be a... Oh, maybe not. I was about to say that should be a good spot to tube it, but I think this will be better. Anyway, now that I got that, I can start working on the wall. Ouch. And I went the wrong way. Oh, went the correct way. Seems I can still return home this way. And you know what? I think I'm just gonna place the glass normally. Oh, no, maybe not. What I was kind of contemplating was whether or not I want to place the glass right next to the logs. So I was kind of considering I can place next to the glass or place some stone slabs over here, but I think I'll place the stone slabs, which will be a bit more annoying since I'll need to get rid of some of the... I'll need to break these slabs, and for a second I was worried that the Anyway, I was kind of worried that the water was starting to flood these places. Anyway, time to continue working on the wall. So I'm just gonna break this, and start placing in the stone slabs. Now time for the glass. And in the end, it seems that I've managed to kind of time things correctly, or rather, I managed to assign myself the right amount of work because I just, I'm finishing it in the 2 hours that I've allotted myself, or roughly in 2 hours. There are still some more things that I want to do here, like I still want to move the coal into these chests, but I think that's something I will do after these streams, or I can just do it another time. Anyway, now it is time to do a bit of digging, and for that I need to kind of go up so I can get there. And well, I think I need to be also careful not to let anything. I probably want things to be sponges. But you know what, I think I'm gonna save just in case and load it file. Anyway, 35, there we go. And let's go. I think I'm gonna try to create a bit of a staircase here. That will be kind of steep at the start. Also, I want to grab some stone, which I can break the glass because I've kind of built it, so I'm fine if I break it. Which just made me think that I probably shouldn't have put away all of the stone that I had in my inventory. I should have kept a stack just in case I needed it. I thought I wouldn't need to build with stone anymore, but seems like I still do. And yeah, I think the last thing that I'm gonna do in this stream is to probably flood this place again. Anyway, let's see, this will be 2 blocks. I step. And I will also replace the stone at the bottom with dirt, but not these walls, only the floor. I think that will look better. Or maybe I could have used gravel. Well, that probably doesn't matter. Well, not really. It's meant to be like a fun for the furnaces since they're kind of used for smelting. But yeah, it's quite hot in Europe. I wish it wasn't quite so hot here. Anyway, it's a huge giant kind of near the end. Anyway, I kind of worked on this furnace room and this stream. I've kind of out the space. I removed the temporary wheat farm that used to be here, and I've just built a furnace room, decorated it, and I'll soon be ending this stream. I'm kind of currently working on this wall, or I've kind of dug out some space behind it so that I can flood it with water so we can have a view into this lake of sorts. I think it would be interesting since it will bring like another color to this place. You know, a deep blue color that you normally don't have access to otherwise. Also want to place some blocks over here. Yeah, it's definitely like I thought. I believe we should have like the temperatures should reach 40 this weekend, which is quite a lot. I don't think I'll go outside when it happens. Wait, or this weekend. For some reason I thought that it's still a weekday. Yeah, hopefully it will. Hopefully it's alright for him. But it would also be nice if it rained, because where I am it hasn't really rained in a while, so you know, just but good. Or it would just be nice if it were to rain a bit, at least a bit, because it's been dry in here for a while. Anyway, now I'm done with this place, so I'm gonna flood it again. Hopefully I haven't missed any blocks so I don't accidentally flood anything. Anyway, now I'm gonna take a look at to see how it looks from the inside. I think it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I think it looks quite interesting. With the kind of dark blue in the background. It's kind of an interesting color. Anyway, I don't think I want to do anything more in this stream, plus I've reached the 2-hour mark. Anyway, I've talked about this earlier. My current plans are to do like one more stream, which will be in 2 weeks, where I will probably do some miscellaneous stuff. And then I'll have like another episode, like another video, which will be like the finale for this world, which will be on the 20th of July. But yeah, with that, this world is one step closer to being finished. anyway, that will be in this stream, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. So, bye.